Welcome back to my main account, where for the past few weeks I've been working towards obtaining the gear needed for tackling the bosses and grind locations for the most recent expansion, Edana. Previously on my main account, I exchanged my Tet Debo accessories into Kharazad's and later on melted down the other non-Debo accessories for additional essences of Dawn in order to enhance my Kharazad's. Now, I know it's been quite some time since I've updated you all on the progress of my main account, but since then we've received a ton of handouts through events, log rewards, and game updates. And one of those game updates that I never took advantage of was enhancing a Tuvala weapon to deck to then exchange for a pen Blackstar. This is a feature that helped a ton of players with acquiring their sovereign weapons, and I finally got around to completing it to aid my main account. But before we get into that, I wanted to tell you about today's sponsor, DXRacer. If you're not familiar with DXRacer, they're one of the original gaming chair brands that really set the standard by focusing on high quality materials, ergonomic designs, and long lasting support. These chairs are built for those long gaming sessions, whether you're like myself spending hours grinding at Tungred Ruins trying to just catch up in gear, or grinding out all those rewards for the Olvia Academy. They're designed to keep you comfortable and supported the entire time. But nonetheless, DXRacer has teamed up with Black Desert for an official collaboration chair, which throughout this video I'll be taking you through the process of unboxing and assembling the chair just to show you how easy it is to put together. But before we get into the unboxing, let's get back to my main account to exchange our Tuvala weapon for the Blackstar. So upon logging back in, I made sure to talk with our good old friend Fugar to hand over our recently enhanced deck Tuvala weapon for the superior pen Blackstar. And swiftly after doing so, I swapped over onto my main character and chose to redeem the offhand, since I'll eventually get a second pen Blackstar from the Olvia Academy in order to create our sovereign offhand weapon. I immediately then headed into town to extract the Kudum heart I had on said Kudum, which I then added to my Blackstar for the additional 525 HP. I did also go ahead and extract the Kafirs out of my Kudum, since I knew I would need an alarming 20,000 Kafirs in order to craft the Gem of Twilight, which is one of the ingredients needed for our sovereign offhand. But seeing as though I'm just shy of 19,000 Kafirs, I knew I'd need 1,000 more, which is where our good old friend Fugar comes back into play. Almost a year ago now, they introduced a new form of Marni stone in aid of helping new players with obtaining Kafirs. Basically, you would be rewarded 600 Kafirs per stone filled up, totaling to 3,000 Kafirs, which would push us well over the 20,000 that we need. So I immediately got to work and grinded up each stone one by one. This did honestly take me some time, which I tackled over the course of a few days instead of completing it all in one sitting, but once finished, I went to turn them in with Wacky Toshi. And even though I could save the extra Kafirs, I decided to sell the rest since I need a large chunk of silver for a soon-to-be upgrade. But before we get into that big upgrade, let's go ahead and start unboxing this chair. Right when you open the box, you're immediately greeted with a clear, easy to follow instruction sheet. Everything's laid out really well, so you're not having to guess what goes where, or you're not having to flip back and forth through a bulky booklet. As we keep going, the Black Desert branding really stands out. It's sleek, clean, and resembles the game perfectly. The logo on the chair itself is really well done, and the color combination matches the game's aesthetic super nicely. I also really like that they carried the same design over onto the back and neck pillow, because it makes the whole setup feel cohesive and premium instead of just slapping a logo onto it. The base and wheels are just as straightforward. Everything snaps right into place and feels solid immediately, which I always appreciate. Nothing felt forced at any point. Once the wheels were on, I just dropped the hydraulic base right into place, and that was basically it. But before continuing on with the assembly, let's check back in with my main account and see what that silver is going to be used on. So I did end up picking up another billion or so silver just from running my newly revamped Dark Rifts. And looking at my gear now, the only piece I immediately need to upgrade is my belt. I know the safest option would just be to buy a Tet or pen Debo and immediately exchange it straight into a Kharazad, but I've always preferred enhancing my own upgrades since it just feels way more rewarding. So instead, I decided to buy a decent stack of Debo belts and test my luck. Alrighty, I believe it's about that time. As you can see, we are in the new Olvia Academy grounds. The official patch hasn't hit just yet. It will be out in about 2 days of the time of this recording. So I don't believe there's any NPCs here yet or anything really, but I mean, it's a phenomenal looking area. I could definitely see it being very lively upon the update. But we're in a new area. I'm going to go ahead and click these Deborah belts, but I felt as though this might be the appropriate spot to do it. New area could bring some new RNG. Who knows? The goal is to get a Tet Debo and then exchange that for the Pencarizad. But let's go ahead and get this going. I'm not going to be crawling anything. Let's find an appropriate stack here to go for. I might as well just... I mean, we can overstack. I have not played on this account in a very, very long time, so I have an abundance of resources that I can definitely take advantage of. Let's go ahead and get this click in. We do have to type it because it's a little bit higher, but that's okay. We should get this. 86%? Nice. There's the easy pry. Pretty sure after that I can just skip them. Let's go ahead and throw in a 60. I have 27 60 stacks. That's kind of insane to even say out loud. Let's go. Duo Debo Belt, attempt number 2. 54.2% chance. Oh. Alright, that's not fun. It's not fun. Let's go ahead and just throw... What did I use? Did I use a 40 or a 50? Did I use a 40? I did use a 40. I'm going to go ahead and skip this one, though. Yeah, I didn't have to type that. I think I did use the 50, I'm not going to lie. Because I did have to type it the last time. Let's go ahead and get this duo back on that 61, which is now a 62 stack. Oh my god. There's no way. There's no way. I mean, I do have plenty... Not plenty, but I do have a lot more silver in the central market. So if I need to do it, I can buy more. I don't remember how many more belts are at. Attempt 3. Wow. Alright. Looks like we might just end up with a pry. But again, I do have, I think, around 3 billion more silver. So let's get that out of the way. Yeah, I have, okay, 4 bill. I have about 4 billion silver. Let's go ahead and look at the remaining Debo belts that might be on the market. There's only 24. And I'm pretty sure I bought the other ones a little bit cheaper than this. Let's just go ahead and buy... Oh my god, that's so pricey. Let's just buy... Oh, I'm like broke now. Holy. Okay, let's just go ahead and have the 7. I mean, who knows? Maybe we just one tap it from here on out. But let's go ahead, get the pry in, put the stack back on. I'm not gonna skip it. Attempt 4. Wow, for duo. Thank you. I was gonna get a little bit nervous there. I'm gonna throw a 9. Oh, what's the? Let me see what other adventures are doing. 100 plus 90 to 95. Okay, so anywhere from 90 to 100, I guess. And I mean, I have 4 100 stacks and only 190. So I guess we'll just throw the 100 in. It puts us nearly at a 50-50. But I mean, I have, what is that, 200 Valks? Now we're a little over 50-50. The coin flip is in our favor. Attempt 1. Try Debo Belt. Come on. Let's get this and then Tet. Let's go. I would much rather struggle in the duos than the try. What? I can't even remember. What is it? Don't you use like a 130 stack? What does it say for recommended? 115, 130, 160. Wow. Maybe we just stick in the middle. I mean, I do have a 130 stack. 31.05. That's kind of crazy. Okay, I'm getting a little nervous now. I'm not going to lie. I'm just going to throw in 10 Valks because why not? I think that may not even increase my odds by 0.5. Oh, man. It's not worth crawling. It's not worth crawling. Let's go ahead. Can we one-tap this? If we get this, we can immediately exchange it for the Pencarizad belt. Let's go. Come on. Tet Debo belt. Attempt number 1, man. Oh my god. Yo, the returning RNG. The returning RNG. I mean, I do have 4 more belts, and I'm a little bit... I kind of want to click it, but I shouldn't. I need to play it safe here, because, I mean, I can't even attempt the first boss in Edana, Jordan, with a yellow tier accessory. I mean, I literally have to have full purple or red tier graded gear. So this is definitely going to put me in that right direction. Let's go ahead and exchange this. But before we can exchange our newly enhanced Debo belt, I need to bring you guys along with me in completing this chair. Picking up right where we left off, the next step in our assembly is attaching the backrest to the seat. This part is also super straightforward. You simply just have to unscrew a few bolts on the side, slide the backrest into place, and then safely screw the side bolts back in. Fortunately, this chair does come with a handy dandy tool that makes this whole process quick and painless. And from there, you'll flip the chair onto its back to expose the bottom where we'll be installing the seat mechanism. Before attaching, you'll need to remove a few bolts exactly like what we did earlier on the sides. Once those are out, you can line up the mechanism and secure it right back into place. After that, carefully lift the top half of the chair and line it up with the hydraulic base and seat mechanism until everything is in place. I would definitely recommend having an extra set of hands here since the chair itself is pretty heavy. And a few last notes with the chair, there's these little plastic covers that magnetically attach to the sides to cover the exposed bolts. I also went ahead and placed the back support pillow along with the head pillow, which does have 3 different height levels, so you can adjust it to what feels most comfortable. And just like that, we are done assembling the DXRacer Black Desert collab chair. Now you're all set to grind for hours on your next upgrade while in comfort. And before returning to Velia to speak with Clarence to exchange our recently obtained Devo belt, I need to take you on a quick trip to Edana. And with Edana's release, I knew I wouldn't have the necessary gear score right off the bat to attempt the newly added bosses. But I made sure to go ahead and complete the questline since I was informed that you can still obtain a piece of Edana by exchanging one Pride Devo up to 5 times. So I immediately bought a few Devos off the Central Market, tapped them up to Pride, and exchanged them in as a one-time quest with Baram in order to get my 5 pieces of Edana. And with that, I went ahead and spoke to the NPC to exchange my only Tet armor for the newly added Edana armor. Yo, that was actually pretty sick, I'm not gonna lie. And there we have it, the first piece of Edana armor on the main account. Clarence requires a Tet Debreka belt, and I completely forgot about this. Whenever you exchange your Devo accessory in for the Karazad, they also just give you the Jin AP crystal, which is 3 billion silver, so that kind of saves us a little bit of pocket change. But nonetheless, let us hand over the newly acquired Tet Devo belt and receive our Karazad belt. Adventure Ahzure crafted pen Karazad belt. That's such a cool little pop-up. I'm a little emotional though. This was my first ever pen accessory on the account. I am never going to get rid of this. I'm not going to melt it down. I'm not going to sell it or anything. For those of you who may be familiar with the channel for a while now, this thing took me 32 attempts back in the day. But nonetheless, the final Karazad accessory on the main account is now here. The gear wheel looks so good. I mean, I have just a ton of red, all purples. It's looking cleaner and cleaner every day. We also cannot forget about the final Gen AP. Let me go ahead and equip that there. Put this here. And boom. I know this may not be the most ideal, but again, I just came back to the account a little bit ago. So it's still a work in progress. But again, the gear wheel looks pretty solid. And then once the Olvia Academy update hits the live servers, we'll be able to not only get the 1 pen block star, but I do believe we get a second one. So with that, not only Sovereign Offhand, but also the Sovereign Awakening weapon, which will complete the trifecta. And with that, we are finally full Karazad, and we've also picked up our first piece of Edana armor. I've honestly been having such a blast on my main account for these past few weeks, and I'm so eager to participate in the recently added Olvia Academy for all of those rewards. I'm also going to be doing my best to balance my time between both the main and Iron Man account so I can keep getting content out to you all. And once again, a huge shout out to DXRacer for sponsoring today's video. If you want to check out their website or pick up the Black Desert collab chair, the link will be down in the description. And don't forget to use code Ahzure at checkout for a small discount on your purchase. Hope to see you all at the Olvia Academy, but until the next episode, take care.